everybody, happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Adobe Live with me, your host, Pixipui, bringing you another fun creative challenge. Maybe some things that you hadn't thought of before, some things that you didn't realize that you could do, including trim paths, by the way, and copying paths and all that stuff. Very, very exciting. Oh, is the sound working? Okay, phew. James, don't scare me like that. Phew. First things first, let's find out exactly what the creative challenge is. The animated cursor. Not just the cursor, the UI too. Now, there is a downloadable file for you lot that you can use, but you can totally start from scratch like I am. And if you want to, and you've got some files that you want to bring in from maybe Photoshop or Illustrator, you can do that too. But I thought we'd make it really nice and succinct by keeping it all in one place. Thank you, James, Uma, Bruce, Oliver, Stony, everybody. How are you lot doing? Hope you're doing well. Plus, I need you to help me with some colors yet again. Always, we need something for the cursor, something for the boxes that we're going to be clicking, all that good stuff. But first, since I like to split things into 3 simple steps, let's take a look at step number 1. Hi, Robert. We got a planet. But of course. Hi, Penny. Hi, Silver. Now, I've totally got it open in Photoshop, but you could totally doodle this on like a napkin or anything really. Something to give you an idea of what you want to do. So originally, we are doing a cursor, but I need the cursor to click on something. So until then, oh, hi, Nipa. So until then, we've got some ideas of maybe we could have a box that looks like this. Even Photoshop in the top right corner, we've got some minus, some plus, some X's. I'm going to get you lot to tell me what cursor. Oh, thank you, Idra. What kind of UI we should have, or what kind of buttons we should get to. You thought I was going to say purple, didn't you? Yeah, I did. Yellow is my favorite kind of color, so I dig it. Thank you, Idra. So we've got a box like this. I'd say because so many different boxes and check boxes and things exist, if you've got an idea for the kind of thing you're going for, if it's maybe for a recipe book or a takeout thing, take a look at what already exists, let it mull in your mind for a little bit, and you will absolutely come up with some other ideas. And as for the cursor, do you lot have a particular shape you want to go for? I don't know if you've noticed, but my cursor at the very top has a cake on it, and it's got like a little heart, and it's got an animation thing, so we could totally do one of those too. Magenta. So we've got magenta and yellow. You lot don't make it easy for me, do you? Magenta. A shade of purple, right? Step number 2. Creating the asset. To be fair, the asset making is what's going to take the longest amount of time. The animation's not going to be too tricky. What cute cursors, right? The heart one was absolutely based off my own cursor. There was one which didn't have the cake on it, but the cake, you know, teal, hold on. Oh, I love your cursor, thank you. So we've got teal, magenta, and yellow. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, you know what? That could really work. The magenta and the teal could go together, and then we can have yellow for the cursor. Miss Bezier cursor. A circular cursor. Will we have to make her... Well, we could put her bow on. That way we could tell which way she's facing, I guess. Not going to be very pointy. Not going to be very pointy. If you're not using the downloadable file that Idara just popped in the chat down there, we can open our After Effects, go to the right, do new composition, and you can make it whatever size you want to go for. I'm going for a typical screen size, 1920 by 1080. And up until now, we've been keeping a very consistent background so we can string all of these together to make like a cohesive video. Wait, always blue? Your avatar is blue. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, we've got to try to find a way to put blue, teal, magenta, and yellow. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of colors. Let's go for our solid. You don't have to have a white background. You can make it whatever you like. Or if you're planning to have this be something that could be applied onto anything, something without a background, you could do that too. Or you could do that at the very end, because sometimes if you turn off the background and you turn off the transparency, it might be a little bit too jarring, or it might be too hard to see. So make it easy for yourself. First things first, we are going to be making, I guess we could make the cursor. If it is Miss Bezier, for those that have done the Animation 101 course, she a circle. Kind of yellow. So if we hold shift when you're using the marquee tools, it will keep the size the same. Otherwise you get a little bit of a free fall when you're selecting. I think they tend to have like a slightly darker outline that's not too big. Something like this, perhaps. She's gonna have her eyes on there too. Should we give her eyes? I guess that's the only way you can tell it's Miss Bezier, isn't it? Miss Bezier, she has a bow. She kind of looks like an emoji now that I think about it. Uma, you sticking that one down there has made me realize she does actually look like an emoji. So the way that we're going about this one is pretty much what we're going to do for, or what you could do for any cursor. If you're new to using the pen tool, you've got a lot of usability here. So make sure you've got your pen tool selected. If it doesn't seem to be there already, hold left click down and go ahead and find your pen tool there. While you're selecting, if it's not really giving you the shapes you want, or maybe you're not able to keep your lines straight, you can actually hold shift while you're clicking to give you a little bit more of a set feel. Hi Jack, happy Tuesday. We're making Miss Bezier for our cursor, which is not what I was expecting. You can click and drag to change the shape of your points that you've made, or in post, what you can do, let's say we made this all a straight line. You can actually click and hold on the pen tool, go to the convert vertex tool and drag it that way. Once it's pulled out a tiny piece, you're able to select which side you're touching, or you can also hold shift to make it straight again. Whichever one suits your needs, go for it. Always expect the unexpected. I really should, shouldn't I? You always keep it fresh. Now, to make this clean and tidy, what we could do is pop these shapes into Miss Bezier's main shape and just make sure it's underneath. There we go. So in case you didn't really see that, inside your layer, we've got our Miss Bezier layer and we've got our bow layer. If you want to directly work within the layer, makes it really, really clean this way because everything's in one place. You can click on the shape layer that you're already working on, go to your pen tool and start working there. And you'll notice in the contents, it's actually added another shape layer. But because I didn't do that the first time, they're separated. So to merge them after the fact, we can open the other bow that I made, click its shape, copy, click on the other contents and paste. So now they're all in one place. Very nice. Hi Ashraful, happy Tuesday. We're going to be making a cursor animation and pretty much UI animation galore. But the first thing that we're working on right now is our actual cursor, which doesn't look like a cursor at all. It looks like Miss Bezier instead. We're going to add her eyes as well. I think she's just got big black eyes. Or it was either the same color as her body, her outline. I can never be too sure. I think we can make it darker. It doesn't seem quite right. Need to give it like a little eyelashes as well. Once we're satisfied with this, we can go ahead and make our shapes. Oh, okay, I have a question for the chat. Normally, this was going to be like a recipe pop-up, you know, like, oh, do you want to make this? Yes, no, next, you know, put a different item on the thing. What is our pop-up box gonna be about? What is it talking about? It was gonna be about a muffin. Doesn't have to be. What are we going to make? What is our UR box? UR? What is our UI box about? I think her eye is underneath her body. It was. There we go. It's Wednesday for me. Wait, it's Wednesday? Really? Oh my goodness. You're in the future. Thank you for coming back to the past to speak to us. Another cool trick with your pen tools while we're creating this. Normally when you're making things, let me go up to fill and turn it off because I do want the eyelashes, but I don't need the fill for that. Normally when you're making the pen tool, you'll notice it's got really, really harsh edges. You can, with your properties tab open, go and round off the butt. So now, instead of having that harsh edge, we got this soft edge instead. In the future, you know, Philippines time. Oh, wow. I'm going with pop-up muffins. Okay. What is the pop-up muffin going to be talking about? I'm going to duplicate this, flip it over to the other side. And she says, with her eyebrow raised, transform, flip. I'm not sure if it's going to do what I'm... Ooh. Well, it didn't do what I thought it would do. It did something completely different. It's done something completely different that I was not expecting. Let me just pop this in and we'll just do it this way, I think. Grab that eyelash. Eyelash is good. I'll duplicate it. You can just hit Control and D instead. Lovely jubbly. Whoop. Move this over. And I'm not sure, you lot could let me know this one. I'm not sure if there's an easier way to flip something around once it's within the contents. There might be. It should be a cool thing to learn. Okay. Whew. Miss Bezier has been made. Whew. All right. Miss Bezier cursor. C for the cursor. I'm going to put yellow down. This counts as us doing yellow, right? Good. Now it's all in one place. We are still going to have a muffin pop up. So for that, let's go back up to our rectangle tool. We said magenta, teal, and blue. So we're going to have something that's blue, something magenta. Is this like magenta? Am I wrong? I think teal on the front. We're going to make it pastel-y, so it's not too hard on the eyes though. So teal on the front, which I think is sort of turquoisey. About yay. Holding shift. Are there 3 sets of eyes? Oh, for Miss Bezier? Do you mean these up here? Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know where... I was looking at that and I was like, what is this? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. It's the fact that you noticed it. Oh, the eyes got made inside the eyes. Whoa, I'm sorry. It's very... Ooh. Oh no. Yep. Wow. Good catch. Good catch. That was definitely creepy, was it not? My goodness. You see how I looked away and like moved the screen over? But thank you, keeping us accountable. Thank you, Stoney. Okay, so we've got our shape. We don't have multiple eyes anymore. The eyes have been fixed. We won't be dreaming about that. I kind of like a semi-elongated shape, so I'm not holding shift anymore. I like the rounded edges, so back in the properties on the right-hand side, we can drag this a little bit. And because we're going for teal and magenta, let's have the outline be magenta. That's also going to be a shadow that we're going for. We don't actually have to do too much in 2D to make it look 3D. I do stuff like that and I don't realize what I've done. So this was experience talking, huh? So we've got this. We've got our main shape. I'm going to call this the front. What can we do with our muffin? Should we say bake? Bake. New recipe. How many buttons should we have? That's the question. So I've got my front bit now. I'm going to do the same thing that we did with Miss Bezier's face. Just going to duplicate the rectangle with Control D. Now it's actually underneath the other one. I'll drag it down a little bit to give it that faux pop out effect. And we're also going to change the color to be the same as the outline. Whoop. There we go. So you could take off the stroke if you want to, or you can keep it on there. Oh, mix bake. Okay, so we've got a bake button. We've got a bake button or a mix button. Wait, mix or bake and mix? Pour? We could. Oh my gosh, it seems like we'd actually do more animations. Okay. Okay, we could do that. We might not have any animation for it because then we'd have to like put something on the screen. Oh my gosh, that'd be really cool. Do we have time? We could try. Okay, so technically we've got like two. Eat! I mean, mix or bake. We're gonna do bake. We could have bake and eat, which would be cool. Okay. We'll just pretend like it's not made yet, and then we'll make the cursor click bake instead. Okay, cool. So we've got the front. If we look at all of the programs we use, normally on a computer, at the top, you've got your X, your maximize, and your minus tool. We want to keep things similar to that one because we're using a cursor, even though it doesn't look like one. Let me turn off the fill. And I'm going to create my line at the top. Now, it doesn't look like it's fitting in there, and you would be correct because it doesn't. But with our track mat on, we can just use that line, select the shape that we've made, and just turn the visibility back on. It always turns the other one off. But now it looks like it's meant to be there. No, it's okay. You two are funny. We're going to call this upper line, and let's say, oh, maybe we want to minimize it. I think I'm going to put it over here. This way we can have the button do its thing on the other side. Let's make it a circle for all four of the circles. Technically, we don't need it to be filled in because it's already got the shape. But if we were going to go for it, go for that clean but cutesy bullet journal vibe, we could go for this one. Let me copy it. I'm going to paste it back into the front one, keeping it all in the same place. The animation part is pretty much going to be the simplest part for us. So let's speed this up, get a fill, move it down so we can see it. Oh, I'm getting some Rhythm Heaven vibes. We'll pretend like this button is something. It's not the button we're thinking of, but it'll do something. Let me grab our bake and our mix button. Pop this one here. Gonna make it rounded. You could just duplicate the shape that we have at the top. That's not what I've gone for, but there's no reason why you can't. Fill. Let's grab that back color again. These are really nice choices of color. I'm really not very good with color theory or something along those lines. Normally when I make things, I do it without shadows and with flat colors. So the fact that you lot have these amazing colors is perfect. And I need to add blue, right? Button one. Cool, we've got one button. One of these isn't gonna move, which is why I'm keeping them together. And the other one will. So button two. Let's say we move, we use this button. We don't use this button. No touch. So I'm going to keep them together. Because I want this one to kind of be pushed in, I do want to separate it. Can we just pop it outside? I don't know. We can't. I'm going to duplicate it, button top. Is anybody else really good at color theory? If so, tell me how what took your passion with that. I always ended up being stuck on the outside with that one. Okay, cool. So we've got our button top. I'm going to put these two together. It is good to label them, but changing the colors also helps quite a bit as well, especially if you're on a time. Going to move this one over, make it look nice and centralized, and we needed blue. So this one's going to be bake. I don't see it. I believe it when it said that it's there. It must be the same color. Okay. I found it. It's huge. We've got bake. Let's change our color to like a blue that can fit in. That does kind of work. Should we make that darker? I'm not sure. If it's too much, Pixie, no worries. Oh my, no. This is fun. I mean, The letters seem huge here. Ironically, the animation part is definitely the fastest bit. Eat. Meat? Oh no. Eat. There we go. So many letters make up other letters. Cool. So these are together. We've got bake on the bottom top. So now, if we were to pretend like this was being pushed in, it moves. Looks lovely. Okay. Cool. We don't have the muffin there, but what I'm gonna do in lieu of our muffin, I should have stuff. Let me go to something that we've done earlier, just so we're not missing our cupcake. Let's grab these and pop these in, shall we? Okay, we have something. We're not missing out. Move our selecting square. The color doesn't quite fit, so we can change that in due time. Meat bake. I know. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even need to think about it. Don't need to look at it. It's all good. It's all good. Oh. Rectangle 1, rectangle 2. Cool. Let's go for fill. We can quickly change these colors. No problem. Oh, you know what? I think it was actually all right being a different color. This works. Okay, cool. Phew. The final part number 3. We animate it. Yay. So if you've noticed, when you're using, hi Bono, when you're using your mouse, it doesn't actually have slow down or speed up. It just moves linearly. So we can just use our pen tool to make a path for us. Let's say I want it to come here. I want it to go here. Maybe it will circle around and leave the screen. We don't need the fill for this. We can increase the stroke so I can see where it is. And we can use the covert, what's it called? The convert tool. There we go. Just to make it rounder. This is actually going to do our animation for us. Lovely. With Miss Bezier, whatever you've decided to be your cursor, make sure you move the anchor to the right spots. We're also going to right click on Miss Bezier if you want to. Technically, the cursors don't really change the rotation, but you can. Ah, that's how you do that. Yeah. We can click auto orient and tell how British I am. All those T's are expensive, as we like to say. So I drop them. Auto orient. There we go. Oh, it's a lot of work. This is our path. All we have to do is open our path, open the shape, open the path again. We copy it, click on whatever we want to be animated. We click paste, Control and V. Oh, she's behind. She's behind it. Hold on. Maybe she should be in front. Maybe she should be in front. Make sure the auto orient. Oh, whoops, I forgot to turn it on. There we go. Make sure that's on. Copy the path. Make sure you paste it in position. She's absolutely upside down. We're going to go with it. That's actually hilarious. Okay. So now she's actually following the path, which is awesome. If we wanted her to stop, let's say at the bake button, all we'd have to do is copy the one that we want her to stay at. I'm going to say that it's here. We can open the graph editor, select the 2 that we're using, or select the first half, and use the clamp tool. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Just the one side. There we go. So now it's going to stay where we put it. And come on, Miss Bezier, get it together. You know what? She's living her best life. That's what we're going to have to go with. Maybe she's too big as well, because we can't really see what's behind her. So now she'll move around and follow the loop. And to make it look super duper cool, on your path, if we go up to the add button, go to trim paths, we can put N to 0 and actually follow Miss Bezier around. Make sure you put the rounded caps on as well. Put an end here, put a start here. So this way, as she goes, you can make it seem like she's got one of those little path things floating behind her, which is very, very cool. Thank you, Stony. And then as she begins to move again, we can keep her going yet again, which is the end. I think she's just gonna keep going to the end here. Whoop, and have the start follow up. Oh, that's really cool. Only 2 minutes left. Thank you. That's really cute, right? I think you could probably find lots of cool ways to do something with this on. And I know we've got only 2 minutes left, but if you're selecting this button and you did want it to actually look like it was being selected, make sure you go over to your position or use your cursor, press the P button, and all you have to do is push it inwards and then push it back out. Cool, but I think you get the gist. You get the gist. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. Stay tuned as there's more awesome stuff coming next. See you lot later. Bye. Bye-bye.